This is Prince Dykes. This is the Royal Financial Investment Group. Just want to do a quick video to respond back to a question that was asked, pretty much why are oil prices dropping. Usually, I was having a couple issues with my original camera, so I just went to my webcam just to hurry up and get this video out. And it's not about the quality of the video; it's about the value that's put out, and that's pretty much what I want to bring to it. So the question was, why are oil prices dropping? And there are a couple reasons why they're dropping. First of all, the OPEC meeting, which is the Organization Petroleum Export Company, is pretty much they control 40% of the oil, and they come together and they talk about supply and demand and stuff like that. So pretty much, in their meeting in November, they're supposed to have a meeting to curb back on the production of oil, but they didn't come to an agreement. So now you have an abundance of supply of oil right now, and when supply overreaches demand, prices drop. So pretty much you have a large supply of oil with no demand. That's one of the big reasons why oil is currently dropping. Also, one of the big reasons is, first of all, supply and demand, and a way that they can fix that is to cut back on their productions. Pretty much cut back on your production. That lowers the supply. If demand stays the same or goes up, then prices go back up. Because oil was trading at around June by like $115 a barrel, and now it has gone down to $40 a barrel. So that's a dramatic drop in the last 6 months. So the second reason is a low demand for oil right now. Due to if you look at anything in technology, it's becoming less dependent on oil. So everybody's going to an alternative fuel to get away from oil, and then as technology grow, we're going into 2015, and oil is becoming almost a thing of the past when it comes down to technology. Any piece of equipment or gear that's made up is pretty much trying to find a way to be less dependent on oil. So that's another reason, because of efficiency. And that also decreases the demand. Another thing is pretty much Iran and the Saudis Iran and Libya are at odds with each other, and they're producing too much oil. Pretty much one of the biggest things that drive prices in general and that drives oil prices is supply and demand. They're producing too much oil. There's a lot of barrels out there, and the demand is not there. The U.S. became the number one producer in oil. So we've been working overtime, drilling our own oil, and we used to be the number one importer of oil. We used to import a lot of oil, but now we produce our own oil. Even though we don't export oil, we have become less dependent overseas of oil, so that leaves a lot of barrels sitting there waiting, pretty much increases supply, because we're not consuming as much oil as we used to from other countries because we're producing our own oil. So, we've been working overtime producing, our own oil and using our own oil. So, another reason is the Saudis and the Gulf allies, they won't sacrifice their own profits for overall good. Essentially, the number one producers of oil, if they just cut back on their supply of oil, if you take the supply away and the demand stays the same, prices will go back. But the Middle East is always, they're at odds with each other, and they're like, hey, I don't care, and, I'm going to produce and try to get as much money as I can, and, they're going to try to produce and get as much money as they can, and they're producing too much oil. That's pretty much what it comes down to, supply and demand. It's more supply than it is demand right now. So that's pretty much why you're seeing a dramatic drop in oil. How can this be fixed? This can be fixed if they cut back on oil. It's at the next OPEC meeting they can come with a way to say, hey, demand has gone down. Let's stop, pulling as many barrels out the ground. Because I think in Saudi, it's only cost them like $5 a barrel to get the oil out of the ground. So if it's only cost you $5 a barrel, and $40 is still a big profit. But countries just like $40 is a big profit. $115 is even a better profit. But companies like Russia, not companies, but countries like Russia are pretty much taking it the worst because they're high dependence on high oil prices. So pretty much, if you tie into the global economy, look at everything in technology, You know, everybody's going to electric cars. Everybody's trying to find more ways to use less oil. Every piece of technology is coming out with less oil and everything like that. So you take that away, that takes down the demand for oil, and the supply has gone up. America's producing way more oil, and you know the countries in the Middle East and the largest oil producers in the world are still producing the same amount of oil. So when if the demand goes down and the supply stays the same, that makes prices drop. You know, economics 101. You know, so the biggest thing you need to do is cut back on it to do whatever. But let's look at it on a larger scale, right? Um, Pretty much that's 1.3 trillion dollars that has gone from oil into the consumer's hands. Essentially what that means is that, you know, if, you know, across the country, you know, gas prices was $3, some places going to 4. Here in Hawaii, well, when I very first got here in October, gas prices was at about $4 a gallon. Now gas prices are $2 and some change in certain places. So look at that dramatic drop, and pretty much gas prices pretty much got cut in half. So that's pretty much giving everybody in the world a pay raise, if you think about it. Because if you're an average American, just about every American goes to the gas pump to go to work, to run errands, things like that. So now you're not spending that much money at the gas pump anymore. So when customers are not spending money at the gas pump, where would that money go? Think about it. Where would that money go? Do you think all these people that are saving the money will all of a sudden going to say, hey, you know what? I'm saving all this money at the gas pump. Let me go pay off my bills, or let me save this money. Some will, but not that many. Most will probably. They're going to spend it. So this would probably be a big boost for the GDP, which is the gross domestic product, because consumption is going to go up. I think it's going to go to retail. I think retail is going to see where this $1.3 trillion that Americans are saving at the gas pumps. Money never disappears. It just moves somewhere else. All this money that people save at the gas pump, it's going to go somewhere else. The question is, where would it go? And where I think it will go, I think it will go to retail, because when people have more money, they spend more money. So I think they're going to spend more money. I think places like Walmart, Macy's, some of your large retails, Amazon, consumer-based product, Best Buy, things like that are going to see a jump, because that's where that money will go. So pretty much that's why oil prices are dropping. Pretty much it's supply and demand. We have too much supply right now at this time, and not that big of a demand. So that's pretty much it. Once again, this is towards the end of my video, where all my real fans are. Had a little problem with my camera. Didn't have a problem with the camera, just couldn't find my charger for the camera. I was looking for it, and couldn't find it. So I just pretty much, you know, I just said, hey, let's take it back to the webcam. That's why I started that in the beginning. So I just took it back to the webcam. I just want to make sure this video got out. Happy New Year's to you, because it is New Year's here. And I want to say Happy New Year's to you. May 2015 be just as prosperous as 2014 was, if not even better. So I hope that video was of value. If any, just like always, if you didn't get in contact with me, drop yourself a comment below, send me a message. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all the other good stuff. I'm out.